Do you keep a list of the properties that are not yours or that are yours so that the neighborhood people can see the list, so that instead of them blaming the airport for everything, maybe they need to be talking to our codes people and we need to be issuing some citations to other individuals?
Yes, we do. The answer is yes to all the above, what we own and what we do own and what we're looking to acquire. And I would be happy to provide you a list of all of that information.
I would like to have one so that we can send it to Mr. Gary that was here last week that works with the neighborhood, so that they will know what is yours and they'll know which ones to call codes on, that we need other people to take responsibility.
Yes, ma'am. I'll be happy to provide that, not only a list, but we'll also provide you a graphical representation of what we own and what we do not. You're welcome, ma'am.
Will you then put all that behind fence once you clean it up?
It's not the intent at this point to have it behind fence. The intent is to be able to make that available for some of our tenants who are looking to expand or had plans to expand, and also to consider some type of industrial park in the future. We would really prefer that it not remain vacant for an extended period of time. But I think that the economy has delayed much of the plans of some of our tenants and proposed tenants. But it's our intent to maintain it, and again, maintain it in an efficient and professional manner, but not at this point to put it behind fencing, because that would be an impediment to our tenants to the north.
Is most of Hollingsworth Grove going to go behind your fence now? Will that be open for other businesses and everything, that area?
At this point, it's open.
Okay.
I mean, we do have an idea of what will go there, and we are reserving it for that, for future expansion. But there are no commitments on it at this point, except to say that it is the airport's intent to, with the help of the mayor, to ultimately have care, custody, and control of that property.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Director Hendricks, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. My comment has to do with an article that was published concerning your achievements, and because of that, I sort of needled Mr. Moore in asking that you all come and do a presentation, and I thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to come before you.
Okay.
Director Compuris.
Ron, good work, you and Bob. You made one statement that I wish you'd elaborate on, and the potential of, and that's international flights.
Yes, sir.
Is this commercial, business, for our international partners? I mean, that captivated my thought pattern. And would you elaborate on that some more, if you can?
Sure. Yeah, I'd be happy to. As we sit here today, the airport is identified as an international port of entry, but with prearrangements. That is how our partner Dassault Falcon is able to bring those aircraft in directly to Little Rock from France. And we have a number of international operations on a regular basis. In fact, we have Customs and Border Protection present on the airport, and there's an opportunity, and there has been some international cargo. So that exists today. What we are looking at is the opportunity to have scheduled air service into the airport. There are a number of our airport partners that have business in Mexico, and specifically in the Chihuahua section area of Mexico. The Mexican consulate is very, very supportive of this effort, and so we believe that there is some demand for it, and there is an opportunity to have a business nexus to drive some international cargo and international flights as well. The question to us has always been really not a question of if, but rather a question of when. When do we do it, and how do we phase it in? And I think that we have to get through phase one first before we can do that.
You know, one of the things that interests me about what you're saying is that, Michael, how long ago did we go to San Antonio?
About 12 years ago.
You know, when they got left out of the high tech and went to Austin, they reinvented themselves by taking their excess footage for airplanes and making themselves a central hub for distribution. And, you know, as you look at what we have with River and opportunities like that. We're certainly a better hub for bringing things in than San Antonio is for distribution. And it just looks to me like if there is that opportunity, it's a great opportunity for us to get into a whole new business that we've never been into before, both taking people from the north and the south and bringing the product here and then distributing it around. But
Talk about that too. You know, we're constantly looking for ways to bring new flights here from Los Angeles, the West Coast, and as well as international flights, because it means so much to Hewlett Packard and any industry that the city or AEDC is trying to get here. Is how they ask, how hard is it to get to Little Rock? And the international part of it, you know, you've got to have certain facilities to screen the passengers, and you've got to have a route that will fill up with passengers. But our ability to do international cargo, which we have now, isn't that correct, is a great economic development tool, and which is used by the AEDC when they're talking to prospective companies. But if we can get an international flight that we can fill up, you know, we don't want to do one that doesn't work, but Ron's working on that constantly. And you know, we've had really good response from the airlines with all of our flights, because a lot of them were canceled last year. I mean, not a lot, but several flights were canceled just from the recession. And we found out since then that, you know, running a good airport like Ron does, a tight ship, keeping our costs low, makes the air carriers look at us. And then, like you said, we're located in a great area. We've got relatively low air traffic, which means when the airplanes come in, they don't have to hold out over a holding pattern. It takes them a long time to land. They get in, they can get out. We've got river facilities. We got interstate highways. So someday people are going to recognize what a great transportation hub this is, and the airport's going to be a part of it. And that's why it's so important that we start these plans now and start our you know, just very complex planning process and construction and financing process. So we're going to have these facilities when people come here to look at us, because that's going to be one of the big things they look at is, what does your airport do? So that's why we're trying to bring all this along the way it is. But it is a great tool. Thank you.
Mayor, to follow up on that point, one of the things that we discovered since we were in San Antonio, and it was reiterated again recently by Director Hurst's work in looking at our privilege license, one of the things that negatively impacts our effort to become that distribution hub is our inventory tax, our inventory component of our privilege license. That's why we've had a number of distribution centers pop up around Little Rock, but not in the city of. And so as we move forward and look at revenue options and opportunities, I think this gives us another reason to look at the inventory component of our privilege license.
Director Hurst, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Reese, I have a question about funding. Do you want to fill that, or you want Ron?
Is it easy or is it hard?
No, it's tough.
If it's easy, I'll be glad to do it.
Still in awe that you all are planning to spend over $200 million without raising taxes, passenger, or airline fees. So I want to understand on the funding for Phase 1, the PFC funding of $23 million. Is that already in hand from previous years?
That's our we apply for PFC funds. I'll let Ron tell you exactly, but yeah, that is in hand. Those are all.
That's already here.
Yeah. They're
a lateral handoff.
Be here. So,
Okay. And
the PFC charge is something that every passenger is charged throughout the country, and it's $4.50 for every airport. So that's not something that it's put it's put on your ticket. So that's not something that we invented or we had to go find. It's going to be there, and it's for airports to use to do this very thing and to upgrade facilities. So
okay, so it's not money that you all count on to operate. You've been able to save this much.
well, I'm going to let Ron talk more about PFCs, but